pause on the Zoodle music and just jump right in. All right, so hello and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me as I chat about Zoodles. All things zucchini today, one of my very favorite veggies. But before I jump in, I just wanted to explain, one, why I'm doing some of these series. I am, let's see, can you see us? Oh, sorry, let me go back. No, I cannot see you because on Instagram Live, for me to be able to see you, we'll have to request to join. So after we chat and make the Zoodles, if you guys are cooking along with me, I would love to see your Zoodles. And so when we get to that point, I'll ask you to look on your screen, and something on your screen should pop up that says request to join. And if you hit that request to join, I'll hit accept, and then we'll check out your Zoodles as well, or whatever fabulous creations you are making. So let's see where I was going with this to begin with. The reason why I'm doing all these fun series. And by the way, I have promised to myself I will do Instagram Lives every other Thursday for the remainder of this quarter. So throughout the end of March. The reason I'm doing them is because I am motivated and am back on the health train. I will say with the pandemic starting last March and definitely feeling like it might be the end of the world and definitely very sad and definitely turning to old habits, which was drinking wine and eating really unhealthy food and sitting my butt on the couch. And 25 pounds later, mom was not loving that. So I will tell you, my focus really isn't so much on losing weight right now. My focus is on feeling better. I just want more energy and I want to sleep better and I want my hormones regulated. And so I figure as I'm on this journey and as I'm learning, I just have to share it with you, my friends and my community. So 2 weeks ago, we did the cauli rice. Hopefully you caught that. If not, you can check out my Instagram page. It's still there. And then today, we're gonna do some Zoodles. And no, I can't say Zoodles without singing. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. Zoodles. We're going to talk about making Zoodles today. And I still can't do it without a giggle. All right, so let's see. So, who's in the room? Oh, Stephen Black joined. Hi, hot husband. And Sheila Baker Johnson. Yo mama will not let you expire. Thank you. I appreciate that. Toby Fox is still on. Hello, Angel Faze and Drea Joe. Dr. Dre in the house. All right, so first things first, I want you to tell me what big vitamin is in this gorgeous zucchini. And just so you know, I call it zucchini. Some people call it an Italian squash. Same thing. And before you guess the vitamin, I'll give you a hint. It's the same vitamin that we talked about 2 weeks ago with the cauliflower. I'll give you a minute. Does anybody want to tell me what awesome vitamin is in this Italian squash, zucchini?
C. Good
job, baby. Did you cheat? Did you see the notes?
No.
Okay, well, very good. So yes, it is vitamin C. Good job, Stephen Paul Black. Also, so you know, and Sheila Baker Johnson, good job, vitamin C. This is filled with chlorophyll. I think the green kind of gives that away, but just so you know, chlorophyll is a much needed, I don't know why my brain always wants to say chemicals. It's a much needed ingredient, we'll just go with, that helps to cleanse our blood and to cleanse our system. So we want as much green in our system as possible. So we know it's filled with vitamin C. We know it's filled with chlorophyll. Let's talk about how we're going to prep it. So when you get this from the grocery store or the farmer's market or your own backyard, which we were lucky enough to have this past summer, we're gonna wanna wash it and then store it in the crisper. As soon as you cut it, it starts to lose some of its vitamin C powers. So keep it as whole as possible until you're actually going to cut it and eat it or use it. What's another good thing to know about zucchini? Oh, you can freeze it. So those of us that have these flourishing gardens, and I say us because I'm claiming that one day our garden will be flourishing as well. Our bunny rabbits got to a lot of our zucchini this year. So, we're trying something new this next season. But for those of you who have extra zucchini, just so you know, very freezable. But you do, actually in this case, do want to kind of chop it up into the smallest chunks that you think you're going to use it for in the future, and then lightly steam it, and then put it in the freezer. And then it'll last for, I'd say even up to 6 months. So get you through the winter. So that's all we're going to talk about storing. Let's get to the zoodles. So to make them, there's 3 different ways that, again, I put on one of my posts, I think on Instagram or Facebook, and hopefully you got that. And if you are cooking with me, just as a reminder, if you want zucchini, I'm actually going to probably just cook 2 today. It's usually enough for 2 people. You need zucchini, you need sea salt. I'm adding some fresh garlic to mine. You don't necessarily need it, but I like the extra anti-inflammatory properties. I'm also going to use some Italian seasoning, and of course, my favorite, the garlic powder. It goes in pretty much everything. So the first version, for those of you who do not have what I call a zoodler, I think the appropriate name is a spiralizer. We're just going to do it from scratch. So if you have one of these wide peelers. Thank you, baby. I was about to say scrapers. I'm like, no, because it feels like it scrapes the vegetable. But no, I appreciate it. It's actually called a peeler, so one of the wide peelers. We're just going to go slowly, and let's see if I can do this. And I'll tell you now, it's never worked before, so hopefully you guys are my lucky charms. I do have the fancy zoodler, which we're going to get to in a minute, but wish me luck. I'm going to try. Here we go. So we're going to try to... See, and there you go. I think I jinxed myself. So those of you all who are more familiar with this, go for it. That's going to be step 1, or the first kind of process you can use. Clearly that doesn't work for me. The step 2 process that can work for everybody is just using your knife. Go for the knife. I would say we want a flat end. We always want a flat surface when we're cutting, just so that we don't, well, 1, cut your fingers, and 2, just so that we do have more stability. So I cut one end so it's flat, and then we're just gonna go really kind of narrow, and I'll hold it up so you can see. It looks like you probably can see on the camera too. But see, it's kind of just flat, and we're just gonna go through and make a few slices. Really thin slices, but we want them as long as possible. And I'm gonna pile them on top. So on top there, you see that? And just take your time and try to get them as flat and as smooth as possible. And they don't have to be perfect. You see this one just went flat. And so now that I have 4, I'm just gonna put this to the side. And you can see I piled them on top. And then I'm just gonna carefully, actually, that bottom one is kind of rounded. I'm turning it to the flat side, because again, we want flat surfaces. And then I'm just gonna make my noodles. So it's one, before I do the rest, I'll show you. You can see how thin they are. I'm gonna put them in my noodle bowl here. And you just go down and you make beautiful, thin, or fat noodles if you want. Obviously, pasta comes in all kinds of sizes and shapes. And then you just keep going until you finish the whole thing. And while I'm cutting, if there's anybody on that's either not cooking and you have hands free, if you have any questions, or maybe if you are cooking and you want to take a break and ask any questions, let me know if I've missed anything.
So you mentioned chlorophyll. on zucchini.
Yes.
Is that an enzyme or a mineral, or how is you didn't?
Oh, thank you for clarifying. Yes, it's a mineral. And so, again, for some reason my brain wants to say chemical, but yes, the chlorophyll is a mineral that helps to cleanse our blood. Thank you for asking,
Yes.
Stephen Black. And so now, you see, you've got these kind of matchstick-looking noodles. And so that's one version. Bam! You've got the beginning to the Zoodles. Now the fun parts I like. We are going to use the Spiralizer. And actually, yeah, we'll do that first. And then we'll do the Spiralizer. So that's the third way to do the Zoodles. And then we'll chop up some fresh garlic. And then we'll get to cooking. And let's see what's happening in the comments right now. Angel Face says, LOL. Yeah, thanks for laughing at the peeler. Clearly, you've never seen me use that before. And there's a good chance you probably won't ever see me use that again. And then the question, where's a healthy place to buy zucchini? Awesome question. So I typically shop at Sprouts because we love their prices and they often have organic produce that we want and that we can afford. My dream, if I had a dream budget, I would shop purely at Whole Foods just because I think their display is so beautiful and obviously they have a huge option of organic veggies. But King Soopers and Safeway, kind of the typical grocery stores here locally in Colorado, they've actually, I think, been upping their game on organic foods. So I think you just have to look at it or look for it. So thank you for asking. But before I forget, of course, farmers market. That's always number one. You might sometimes see bumper stickers or on the website saying, buy local, buy local. There is a lot of truth to that. The more local foods we can buy to where we're living, I'm not going to get too nerdy about it, but the healthier it is if you can eat the foods that are grown and produced closer to where you live. All right, let's see. All right, so no more questions now. So now the fun part, the third way to make Zoodles. This is my Spiralizer. So typically, actually I think I better do it. I was gonna say, typically I have it on this surface where it's not gonna move so much, and I think I'm just gonna do it that way. And you can see, it definitely has a contraption. I'm gonna show you close so you can see the inside. It's got the blades, and it's got something to hold the zucchini here. And I'm gonna put this on the counter so it has some kind of hold. And just so you know, I did already wash my zucchini. It's nice and clean. And for this process, and you might wanna know Paderno, Paderno, that's the brand of Zoodler that I bought. I think we found it on Amazon for like 15, 20 bucks. So definitely affordable. And if you find that you're going to enjoy these Zoodles, which I really hope you do, it might be a worthy investment. All right, and I'm definitely not being paid by them. So I will not benefit whether or not you buy this Zoodler or another one. So I'm just gonna cut off both ends of the zucchini. I'm gonna cut this one in half just so that the noodles aren't like a mile long. And then I place it, I kind of stick it in the holder. And then the fun comes, the Zoodles. Actually, I'm gonna turn it this way so the Zoodles come towards you. Let's see if we can make it stay on the counter. Woo-hoo, there we go. Oh yeah. Who's making Zoodles now? Michelle's making Zoodles now. Hopefully you're making Zoodles too. And here we go. And so you can see, they look gorgeous and curly, like the most delicious pasta you've ever had. It would be the Zoodles. All right, and then the fun part is you get this little piece that kind of sticks out afterward. Anybody have any comments for this one? No? Okay, moving on. Now we'll do the other half of the zucchini. Sticking it on. And now we're just going to twist and turn and turn and turn. There we go. And I said there's 2 of us eating dinner tonight, so I am going to zoodle one more squash. So Sheila just said, weenie! I was waiting to see, you know, where this audience might go with that one. I know it was definitely fun for me. Thanks for being bold, Sheila Johnson. So again, I'm cutting off the edges of that zucchini, cutting it in half so that our noodles aren't a mile long. And then we're just gonna go. Weenie zucchini, I like it. We could do a little rap. Making a weenie, the weenie zucchini. The zucchini weenie. Thank you for the giggles. Woo, aren't those gorgeous? Okay, I promise I'm gonna cook these. I'm not gonna just play with them, but they're so much fun to play with. All of it. And it smells good too. It smells like the earth. It smells like summer to me. Okay, we've got one more to go, and then chop up some fresh garlic, and then get these puppies cooking. All right, so I'm gonna put all of these gorgeous zoodles in the zoodle bowl over here. And I'm gonna put the weenie zucchini in my little trash bowl. Hopefully one day that'll be a composting bowl. If, by the way, if any of you have information on composting, Steve and I would love it. That's gonna be part of our summer project, is to compost some of these awesome extras we get, because we always feel so bad throwing away this gorgeous goodness. Because I mean, even like, I'll just pull out the weenie as an example. The weenie zucchini, there's so much chlorophyll in here that, you know, if it's not coming into my body, I wish I could be giving it back to the earth. So you have my word. We're working on the compost. All right, moving on. Let's chop up some garlic. So here's a fun thing I learned about garlic, and most of my friends already know how to cook, so you probably learned this when you were a kid. If I learned it, I forgot, but the way to properly chop an onion when it asks for chopped or minced garlic, I think I just said onion, but chopped or minced garlic is, you want to take, let me see if I can do this to make sure it's in the screen. You want to take the clove, and let me clean off my chopping board. And then you want to just use like the flat end of a knife, and you can put all your aggression in there and go bam, and you squeezed it. And actually, before I forget, while I'm chopping the garlic, I am going to turn my stove on to about medium-high temperature. But back to this gorgeous garlic clove. So you can see after I smashed it, it just makes it so much easier to peel. And I'll put the peeling board here so you can watch me peel garlic. Hopefully it's more exciting than watching paint, maybe mildly more. And then I'm gonna just cut off this little woody part, because nobody likes the woody part of garlic. You can break a tooth, it's so hard. Keep peeling it. And there we go. So I cut 2 other cloves earlier, so we're just gonna chop them. And for this menu item, I'm just gonna loosely chop them. They don't have to be perfect. It, of course, needs to go to your liking, whether you like chunky garlic or minced garlic, or you just want to stick with the garlic powder, or no garlic at all. That's perfectly acceptable too. So I'm gonna chop it. Steve and I actually love garlic. I don't think there's a thing as too much garlic in this house. And I think I just saw something pop up. Let's see. Oh, actually that's a great suggestion, Mom. She said to chop the weenies up and cook them with the zoodles.
Don't cut the weenie.
I like it. And Steve just said, don't cut the weenie. Yeah, I can understand why that might be sensitive to, you know, some of our male friends. But yes, I love that idea for saving food. However, I'm gonna go with, as my bonus daughter says, aesthetics. So the aesthetics of it, I mean, how can I ruin this gorgeous curly look? If I chop up the weenies, we won't have this curl. But you're right. Next time I have you over for dinner, Mom, I'm gonna chop up the weenies and it'll be delicious and there'll be no food waste. So thank you for that point. All right, I am feeling the heat over here. So I think this stovetop is heating up. Let me just turn the camera a little bit. So again, I mentioned I use ghee, but in almost all my high heat cooking because it is just so beneficial for our brain health. But if you don't have ghee, no problem. If you like the taste of coconut oil, that would be my second choice just because it's very brain supportive as well. You could also use full fat butter. That's perfectly great too if your body can tolerate the butter and the dairy. My body cannot, so I'm sticking with the ghee, which does come from dairy products, but it's clarified, and so all of the whey and the lactose and all the things that can hurt my body are taken out. So we're gonna let the ghee melt in the pot. Let's see, we got an LOL. I don't know if that's at me or at one of the comments, but I'll take it either way. Let's see, and I'm gonna put this you can see, very coarsely chopped garlic in with the warming up ghee. Oh my gosh, it smells good already. My teacher, Megan Teltner, she always says, I wish there was smell-o-vision. And now the more lives I'm doing, I get it. Like, I wish you could smell this too. But if you're cooking along with me, then you can smell it. It's just delicious. Oh, it looks like Jess Maloney joined. Hello, Jess. Great to see you. I have been loving following your page and getting some awesome recipe ideas. So thank you for sharing your light. We are making zoodles this evening. We've got the garlic heating up. And just so you all know, the zoodles, we're not gonna cook them more than like 3 to 4 minutes because past that they start to get like soft and mushy, like just way too tender for me. So I really like after the garlic starts to like start being flavorful, which it is now, then that's what I'm gonna pour in as these zoodles. And I kept both sizes. Mamacita, you'll be happy. We are using both sizes, the curly zoodles and the straight zoodles. And then I'm just gonna mix it all in. Make sure every side of every zoodle gets some gorgeous, beautiful ghee on it. The garlic. Can we just get an hallelujah for the garlic? I love the way this smells. Buttered garlic at that. I guess technically ghee garlic at that. Oh, it's just the best. While that heats up, I'm going to put on some sea salt. And from anybody that was on our last Instagram live class, can you remind us why we're using sea salt over table salt or any other kind of salt? While I'm waiting for that, while I'm waiting for your answers, I'm also gonna add some Italian seasoning just for a little bit of, a little bit of punch. I think I'm gonna stay away from the garlic powder on this one just because I have the chopped garlic in there. And then I'm just gonna stir again to make sure all the sides are cooked and coated in this gorgeousness. And Steven says, Purdy, tell me about me or the zoodles.
Purity on the sea salt versus table salt.
I'd really go Purdy.
You are Purdy.
Oh, thank you, baby. But no, purity. I like it. Yes, absolutely. The sea salt comes from the sea. And fun fact, sea salt actually has a very similar pH level to the blood in our system. So For those of us with salt issues, obviously always check with your doctor first, but sea salt is definitely a lovely option for all of us. All right. So, I think we've only been at about 1.5 minutes. I'm going to give this a little bit more time. They're starting to loosen up, but this is actually going to be a personal preference for you. Whether you like them a little crunchy, then take them off now. Take them off the stove. If you like them kind of closer to the consistency of like a carborific noodle, then please keep them going, because I actually like to make them the texture of the standard typical noodles, so that I'm not feeling like I'm being left out of, you know, regular food. I think we're almost there. Okay, and while those are simmering, let me just make sure that I didn't forget any of my notes. All right. And also, while this is cooking, for those of you cooking with me, please get ready to show the rest of us what you're cooking. I would love to share the screen for a few moments with you so we can share either recipe tips and or just the yumminess of Zoodles. Oh, looks awesome. Okay, now we have the texture that looks delicious. And I've been asked before, so why would you use Zoodles? Well, hopefully we just learn now. The vitamin C content, the chlorophyll content through the roof. We want that for our bodies, but we can use the Zoodles in replacement of pretty much any other carb out there. You can use it for Italian style foods, Asian style foods, American style foods. Like anytime you have the opportunity to get a veggie in your body, please do it. All right, so let's get these noodles in a bowl. And just for the sake of aesthetics, Lucy's word, here we go. So we've got our bowl. Can you see it steaming if I put it up close? This is gorgeous. And it smells really good. And I'll taste it before we get off the call, but it's too hot to taste right now. So before I share the screen with my friends, I would love to share with you just a few events that are coming up in case you're interested. In February, we are doing a dry February. That means no alcohol, no sugar, but so much fun because the bonus is February is the shortest month of the year. We could do anything for 28 days. So if you're interested, you know how to find me. It's going to be a private Facebook group. So we'll have space there. The next event after that is February 4th. I believe that's next Thursday at 6:30 Mountain Time. I'll be cooking with my friends at AARP. It'll be really fun. And it is free to you, to all my friends. If you go to michellefox.com front slash or backslash?
Backslash.
Thank you. I'm going to just keep practicing with that. michellefox.com/events. You'll see all of the links for all of the events. And then the next event after that will be, I believe it's February 11th. Yes, I'll be back here on Instagram Live doing a Valentine's special. And so for those of you who know Stephen Black, if you could just give him a little love, give him some love nudges, encourage him to be on this side of the camera and cook with me, that would be awesome. But no pressure, Steve. I hope you still say yes, but if not, it'll be a really fun class for couples and singles alike. And just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, I'll be cooking with AARP again, April 1st, April Fool's Day. And so I decided I'm going to be cooking breakfast for dinner, and that's no joke. We're gonna have fun with that holiday. So that is what I have for now. Is there anybody that wants to share their creations with us? And if you do, there should be a button at the bottom of your screen that says request to join or please join. And I'd be happy to share the screen with you. I want to see what you guys are cooking out there. And while I wait, I'm going to double check my notes again. I know I mentioned michellefox.com/events, but there's also michellefox.com/planner. And for those of you who want extra help as far as planning meals for the week, which I can tell you saves so much time during the week for us, and it gives just gives us more peace of mind when we don't have to say what's for dinner tonight. It's like everybody knows. You just look at the board because Mama's planned it out for the week. So if you want the planner, it's free. Go to that link. It's all yours. Let's see. So Sheila's saying I don't have a button. So Sheila, are you on your phone?
It's at the top. It says Let's Cook Zoodles. There's a drop down.
Okay.
If you click that, then it pops up to join.
Oh, awesome. See,
So,
I'm learning something new every time. So thank you, Stephen. So when you go up here above my head and it says, let's make some zoodles, there's a carrot that's pointing down. If you push that carrot, that should give you the option. So check that. I'll give it a few more moments so we can share the zoodle fun. Let's see, we talked about the events, we talked about the planner, we talked about the zoodles. Ooh, I haven't tasted these zoodles yet. We can do that while we're waiting. Oodles of zoodles. I'll show it to you one more time. Let's see here. It is buttery. It is delicious. It's going down tonight. So, in case you're curious, when this is over, I will be making some baked whitefish, and I'll put that probably over the zoodles. So this, I would say, would be maybe in the American category as far as food categories. Just baked fish over delicious zoodles, and we'll call it a night. All right. So Sheila Baker Johnson, let's give it 30 more seconds. And if that doesn't work, then we'll just try it again next time. Because like I said, I will be here every other Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we're just going to cook it up. We're going to focus on culinary nutrition. We're going to focus on just being the healthiest we can be. Another plug for Dry February. I think this will be our 4th group that we're doing. I have to tell you, every time I call it an encouragement group. I think support group gets a bad rap. So encouragement group. Every time we do these groups, new relationships are built. You have that extra level of accountability. And there's just more joy. And it definitely helps me stay on track and just be better at releasing the sugar that I know I don't need to be holding on to anyways. So if you're kind of on the fence, let this be your sign for me just to push you off, because I would love to have you join us. And let's see. So now Sheila's saying, I am frozen. Next time, this was great. Okay, well, thank you so much for trying, Sheila Baker Johnson. So great to have you here. And I will see you next time. Thank you all so much for being here. Adios.